you to press your buttons on your microphones up there. So a green light should come on. Just press. Yeah, around this meeting, yeah, right?
Start the line 3 o'clock.
Yeah, that's all right.
I was at Saturdays.
Oh, were you?
Yeah,
That's nice.
Son works for Johnsonville and their sponsor, so they're employees.
Sure. See the back and then we're going a little bit too.
Yeah, it was, and there weren't that many Cubs fans there.
Well, we're just saying,
So it's a couple of birds came in,
Yeah.
there's more Cubs fans in there. It was good, it was a lot of fun.
you gotta get a boss. I'll take it from you.
Okay, gotta take what you can get.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, usually the back tickets.
Yeah, I usually am. We actually do a lot of sections. People are usually well behaved there. Years ago, this is decades ago, like 31, he was less than a year old. I watched him on TV. Sat in the family section. At the White Sox games. He got so right, they were pouring beer. And he got pure beer poured on him. We stopped going to White Sox. Yeah, God was kind of, yeah. There were a few.
Call the Village of Bondwell notice of a public hearing request for conditional use permit. The Village of Bondwell Plan Commission will hold a public hearing on Monday, October 6, 2025 at 6 p.m. at the Village Hall, 117 West Green Bay Street, Bondwell, to hear the request for the following planning and zoning matter. Conditional use permit, Jason Hutter, 107 East Green Bay Street, parcel number 107-70050-0570 to consider light industrial facility producing food with cooling and packing area in the C1 commercial district. Plan Commission will take comments from all interested parties at the public hearing. Immediately following the closing of the public hearing, the Plan Commission will make recommendations to the village board.
This is a public hearing. This is your chance to address the plan commission.
Well, I'm just requesting a conditional use permit for the house that's on that property. I mean, ask me questions, I don't know what you want me to say.
Why don't you state, Jason, what you, within that house, what it is basically is.
It's just a cooler room that has some conveyors that run through it, that as the crust come off the crust line, they get cooled down in that room, and then we count them in bagging box and then put them down in the.
So it was just adding space to your current facility.
It was just using space that I already owned on the property.
Gotcha.
So there's no living on it, the house is used for residential purposes.
Is there any drawings or anything of what you're asking for in that building?
I can draw something out.
But the structure's not changing, and you're just using whatever space is there already. The rooms and that are all in place.
Is there any state plans or anything?
Everything's already been approved by the state.
Approval through DSPS and DATCP. I did contact DATCP. They said it was approved. They don't approve building plans. The building inspector, Brian Knows, said that he does not have any plans in his possession for any construction that's done on that property. Building plans for commercial buildings have to be approved by the state, not the village.
Does this have to have construction plans? The conveyors, so.
He's connected to buildings.
The buildings were connected, they've been connected for over 100 years.
I don't have any proof of that. I don't have no plans. I don't know what was done.
You can speak
It's
to
all-
Dave Schmidt, if that's.
it's all
Yeah,
hearsay.
It's been that way ever since he's been doing the assessments in Dundale. And the prior owner that I bought from, as well as his son-in-law, who uses, I don't know, through basically office.
The house is zone C1.
It is zone C1. For commercial use.
So do you have any future plans for construction or anything? Or additions?
In reference to additions? No additions.
What about,
My
ins-
desire is to get this plant running to the level that I'm in, where it works out, and then I want to build a new plant.
so there's not really new added construction inside the building? How's the business going?
Good, good. We've got USDA licensing coming up in the next 2 or 3 weeks out of the cultivate. We've got a full automated frozen pizza line, topping line that's going to be licensed as well as we've got 4 frozen pizza companies that are producing crust for right now. And hopefully we'll start topping for them as well.
Do you name any of those frozen pizza companies that you're making pizza crust for?
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
We've got Cortesi Brewers in Stevens Point, we've got E&D down in Cassie. We just signed an agreement with Crackle Sons Distributing for the state of Wisconsin as well as transferred over to Parks Distribution Center. And it's going to keep going from there to the mountain, Indiana, all the way up to that.
Where do you live?
I live in
The reason I asked is because I taught high school over here for 40 years. Did you have any kids go through this school system?
Both of my daughters.
Okay.
I think you're.
Yeah, I mean,
I actually grew up in China. It was the same time as my daughter, 4 years. So we've always been a part of the community. That's where they got the house when they moved to the area. I was born with these, so I'm just a transplant. Yeah, I've been here since I was 4 years old.
thanks, just curious.
I just sold the Micos in July. So that was 23 years of building that business in town. Nothing that people do bad, what they're gonna do bad. Yeah.
Anybody else have any other questions? Move into the plan commission meeting. What's that? Oh, we'll close the public hearing. Statement. Statement regarding the meeting notice. The agenda for the meeting was sent to the channel leader. The results broadcasted. Copies of the agenda were also posted at the village hall, Bundle State Bank, and Bundle Library. And I have approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda and deviate as necessary.
Motion by Court, second by Wolf, to approve the agenda and deviate as necessary. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Approval of the June 2nd, 2025 minutes.
I have a question on those. On the minutes of the last meeting. Under new business. A little more than halfway down. It's just a semantic thing, I'm uncomfortable with it. It says, the location, it says, is it the Bougies or the Boogies? Boogies are trying to get their state approved plan passed. So that, to me, that says the state has approved the plan. But without the ADA accessibility finalized, the state will not approve the plan.
They can conditionally approve plan without everything being like conditionally approved with the things that you can add, so I guess I don't know.
So,
They're conditionally- Motion by Court, second by Anderson. To approve the June 2nd, 2025 minutes. The voting changes. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Favor say aye. Opposed? Now into a session open forum with Jessica Carter and Charles Levens. New business. One discussion about the recommendation. The commission is directed also on this previous week. Parcel 7-70050.0570, currently industrial facility producing food with food and packing area in the C1 commercial district. Consideration of the decision. Issuing conditional use permit. Jumping into ordinance requirements, ordinance requirement. Land use request for conditional use. Violation of chapter 115, zoning code section 115-3. As stated there, also zoning code 115-12. Under 3, there's no drawings or sketches of what is proposed to be done in that building. It's all hearsay right now. So that would be in line 1. So does the applicant meet the ordinance requirements for each requirement? This is for you to fill out and to make a decision on. Turning to page 2. Substantial evidence supporting this conclusion. The current use and current future zoning use is commercial, not industrial. You guys can elaborate on any of this. Order and determination is a proposed condition used in harmony with the purposes, goals, objectives, policies, and standards of the village of Bonneville, comprehensive plan, zoning ordinance, or any other plan, program, or ordinance adopted. Under consideration, currently it sits as a house. It's connected to another building. We have no state approved plans. I've contacted Brian No, who's the state inspector. He said he does not have anything at this time on this building. Item number 2, will the proposed condition used in this location result in substantial or undue adverse impact or nearby property, the character of the neighborhood, the natural environment, traffic, parking, public improvements, orderly development or improvement of public property, or other matters affect the public health, safety, general welfare, nor as it may in the future be developed. Currently, 107 is a vacant building where Mr. Hutter agreed to raise the building if he ever wanted to expand his facility into that building. We have a document from his conditional use and an agreement from 2017 that either he would use it, connect it to water and sewer, raise the building, or leave it vacant.
So currently the house is not connected to water and sewer at all.
No,
It is because the house and the building were built at the same time, at the same season, which is why there's a tunnel, and that's why the building is connected. It's been that way for 108 or 190 years.
there's currently no water or sewer hooked up to it. Mr. Hutter has agreed to connect them if he was ever going to use it, which he has failed to do at this time. He also agreed on 2 different occasions, and he also agreed to raise the building if he was going to use it for commercial uses. Item number 3, will the proposed condition use maintain the desired consistency of land use impacts, and relative to the environments of the subject property? If it is granted, there's no commercial use to it. It would be industrial. There's no employees that will be there. There will be no habitual foot traffic that will be allowed in that building as a commercial business. So technically that doesn't fall into commercial zone. Number 4 is the proposed conditional use location in the area that will be adequate served by and will not impose an undue burden of any of the improvements, access roads, drainage, necessary facilities, utilities, or service provided by the public agencies serving the property. We already answered that. It is not currently hooked up to public utilities. Item number 5, what is the public benefit of the proposal? Do the potential public benefits of the proposal conditions use outweigh potential adverse impacts of the proposed conditional use? As far as public benefit, I do not see any increase to public benefit. Again, we don't have plans to approve or deny. And then the permit conditions. So essentially what you got to look at is what has been presented as facts. I know I sent out email saying that this isn't a personal opinion, this is about fact-based opinion or fact-based decisions. There's a couple things we can do from here. You can approve with conditions, or deny. A couple things, I don't think there's adequate information to approve a conditional use permit. It's more industrial than it is commercial. And the prior agreements where he would connect to water and sewer for the building for residential use, and also for raising the building if he was going to expand into that building. So we have a couple documents that haven't been followed.
So what's, at this point, we're hung up on a drawing. Is that what this is where I'm
You
at?
guys can make the decision, so I'm just providing you, so the thing is that you have no drawings to go off of, right now it's all hearsay. You know, he says he's not adjusting structural support, I don't know that, you don't know that. You could table this until you get more information. You could table it until you get, hear back from the state inspector.
And how detailed of drawings are you looking for? I mean, something you could just sketch out on a piece of paper, or that this is,
We're looking for approved drawings, correct?
You only need approved drawings if you were changing anything structurally. Nothing was changed structurally. You don't need state approved plans. You're aware of that. Brian knows how to see it.
Right, and we already went through this with your pizza crust facility, the apartments above it, the fence,
Everything
you
was drawn.
failed.
Some of it was after the fact, but it was still drawn by an engineer and approved by the state. So quit throwing out half-assed thoughts.
You want to talk about half-assed thoughts, what about all these agreements you signed that are
I
registered?
didn't sign any agreement with you. There was
You
a
signed
piece of
with it,
paper that she threw at me.
You
that
signed
had
it
a
with the
bunch of
village?
stuff on it From a conversation. There was nothing signed. I said that if I was going to expand a whole other topping line, I would tear the house down at that time to add, to put a new one in.
You provided the
I was-
paperwork.
Provided it, but you gave us the last.
However, I was told that you wouldn't allow me to build anything anyway.
You provided it.
You provided
You
That
provided it.
piece of paper that had a bunch of stuff typed
it.
on it.
Yeah, because you provided us.
That you
with
What are
own.
you talking about? There's no signature on it, there's no date.
See right there, you already know what you're talking about. So
She handed me the piece of
It's
paper,
an
I tell
exhibit.
you.
Yeah,
You're so
you
full
gave
of it.
us the last conditional use. I didn't, give it.
You submitted it with your last conditional use
You drew it, that's where you wanted your easement.
because you had an easement, you drew it up, you signed it. The conditional use paperwork.
Easement,
Yeah,
the easement that was drawn.
and you do that.
That's what it's got to be.
Well, this is what this is where I would like the easement,
What is an easement?
because that's.
Because your conditional use for that place says that you will tear down that house. So you haven't followed
Just
any
because you
rules.
stapled a piece of paper, it's something
It's
else.
not stapled to a piece of paper, and you can mile
This
it.
is turning personal, this is what I care for.
Your integrity and your pattern of,
Integrity of business owner.
and pattern
33
of doing whatever.
Always hear well
You don't
before
e-
you.
you don't
and
even let me
all
finish
kinds
talking.
of things for this village. Because what's coming out of you is so hot.
Because well, it's hotter, it's better than what's coming out.
You're
of
the
you.
same guy that stood there 3 weeks ago and told me,
Yep.
go and toe to toe with me, and then at the end of the
Told you,
conversation,
you
you say,
called me over there.
what if I build you a new building in the industrial park?
Yeah,
If
it's
I
right out
build
there.
you a new building, will you just give me this one? It's just funny how you're doing everything you can to stop me from getting the, I'm not talking to you.
Keep on letting it out.
Putting in the
You're done.
room.
You're done.
Are you listening to what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay,
You're
just
done
making
talking.
sure you're
You're
listening.
done
to what I'm
talking.
saying.
It's about a conditional use. He has a pattern and not following. He knows he needs state plans. He's done it for apartments above the pizza crust place. He's done it for the pizza crust place. He refused to get a permit for that until I called the state. Even a simple thing such as a fence was a fight about this. He signed a
We
document
as a
saying
plan
that,
commission don't know if, we're on both sides right now, we're hearing both sides of it. We don't know as a plan commission if he needs state plans, he's saying he's not, you're saying he is, there's somebody that can come in here and tell us that he needs state plans.
yeah, Brian, no.
Can you have that in the letter? Because right now, we're hung up, we don't know, we're hearing it from him and hearing it from, I'm not trying to take
I'm not
sides.
saying he does or don't. I don't know for sure. I'm not a building inspector.
I'm just trying to get information that we can.
But
make
it's a
the best
commercial-
decision.
Right. It's a commercial building
Yes,
that needs something approved, not by anybody in this room.
that's what I'm saying. I don't-
Right, and I've tried
I
to
don't think we
contact.
have enough information to make a decision.
We should table
Quite
it.
honestly, I think I'm making a motion to table this.
I second.
Motion has been made. Wolf, second by Welch. To table this discussion until more information has come in. Is there any discussion on it? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Has been tabled till the next, when we get more information. Discussion and possible recommendations on the signage application for 300 South Cecil Street, 4Z Pet Spa Grooming Salon.
The sign application, they have two signs. One of it is for Top Gun Construction, the other is for 4Z Pet Spa. They both meet the minimum requirement. They have 100 square feet to have displayed on the sign as it currently sits. Each sign is approximately 3 foot by 5 foot, which gives them 15 foot for each sign, times 2, 30 times 2, 60 foot. So they're well under the square footage requirements.
I'll make a motion to recommend to the board to approve the signage for the grooming salon. Oh,
It's the back of it, it's Top Gun Construction.
for the grooming salon and Top Gun Construction.
Motion by Quirk, second by Peterson. To recommend the board on the signage application for the 300 South Cecil Street, 4Z Pet Spa and Grooming Salon and Top Gun Construction. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Discussion and possible action on 2026 Plan Commission budget.
Like, plan commission budget is in there, so you guys have like 4 items. So the wages are based on the amount of meetings, we usually have about 9 here, so kind of what we had last year. Like contribution stuff, like amount that we put in, so, kind of bring the same as last year. Outside services, we usually paid staffing for some development and stuff in the past, we paid 3,000 and 5,000. With the creation of our two TID, the TID is going to be paying that now, out of our 2 districts, so we will no longer be paying that out of our budget. So that is no longer needed, and then just general expenses if we have anything, that might be a little that comes up, we pay for that, which is an extra $100 for expense wise. Unless there's anything else you guys know that you're looking to do, most of the items that we're looking at next year.
No, I'll make a motion to approve the budget as printed.
Second.
Motion by Westcott, second by Welch, to approve the 2026 Plan Commission budget. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Unfinished business?
I don't really have anything, I guess, for the next meeting would be what kind of information is it looking to get for this state, specific get someone.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta have information work out. We can't just
That's the thing.
blindside. Not that I don't trust Jesse.
No, and I know.
But you should try, it should be fact-based, right?
Well,
I don't know what he's got going on over
Yeah.
there.
I mean, I know he let the assessor in, the assessor was one of 3 people who said that was allowed in there to see this facility. I know we tried to get Brian
I know,
to
so
come in, but I know that's
But
pretty
it's a
hard.
food facility, so there's gotta be some kind of
So
state law.
there is, and he has had the Wisconsin Department of Trade and Agriculture, who does that part of it, it's the building part that we're not sure of. I mean, I know they're connected, but we don't know what's involved. So,
I mean, there's a signed agreement that's basically stated you would do all these improvements to the parcel, I guess.
But if he's having a crust go in there, even if it's frozen crust, it still should have water.
right.
Running
that was
water,
the agreement.
sewer.
But
he agreed to do all that, now he's saying that's not a city.
Water would be just in where the crust pressing, that's the main building.
Yeah, there's
The
water
other building
there,
is just
it just doesn't
refrigerated.
have separate water.
Is it required that he has a separate water?
Well, that was the agreement when he purchased the thing back.
But is it required by law?
Yes. It's required by village ordinance
I don't
that every
know.
building should have its own water and sewer.
Yeah, you can't have, that's a state law too, I'm pretty sure that.
Yeah, Yeah,
have to have your
and the
own.
thing is, if there's a fire in there, there's no sprinkler, there's no water, there's.
When you
I guess I
connect-
don't know what's required. and so
Like when
that's-
freezer shorts out or something.
There was a note too that the work was already completed on one of these things.
It
So, already go on.
It's already running. already
It's up and running. We didn't know about it.
It's up
Yeah,
and running.
I mean, it's not like we're going door to door saying, what are you doing in here?
Yeah, it's up and running. He's got, it's in production. So he's coming to us after the fact. So,
So we found out about it. We attempted to give him a fine for a zoning violation for work that was done prior to any permit. I said if you would come to the planning commission and ask for a permit after the fact, they might be able to issue a conditional use permit. So he filled out the paperwork and thought it was all said and done. And
so like I said, I just want to get you guys what you can. I mean, I guess we could try to get the state to, I don't know, if they would have to make a difference. It's really hard to get.
that's what I'm thinking, like, if there's a way that we can just get a letter of bullet points of something that we need to look at. I guess I don't know. I don't even know if it's suggested, because I don't know.
Well, it comes down to if the state says they require plans, then he needs to.
You gotta have a plan.
Right,
And the
if he
state's
says
got
he
their
doesn't,
list.
then it's a non-factor.
Correct.
And I can't make that call. I'm not,
Yeah.
that's not my background.
Exactly, and that's, you know,
If I may, I think one of the key issues that you've identified is the water issue, because regardless, if he's saying, well, it's always been that way, but you do have an ordinance that says you have to have the hookup, and he hasn't provided any of that. So that's really the key place where you can tie it to what's already in the ordinance, that he's not.
But that's what the bullet points would be easier for us, to have a list of the violations that he's, currently not, the ordinances that he's currently not obeying.
Jesse
Just
provided
the list.
that. So I mean, that could be a thing you could hang your hat on,
Right,
But, I mean, you brought that up and someone got hostile, so it's,
right, you can't talk to him, right? And it's the same thing every time when I try to talk to him. He gets belligerent and then yells at me, and then that's the way it goes. Then he
And
asks,
then just like I gave him a piece of paper, well, that's what you gave us with your conditional use, and they gave us the light industrial, I had to write it out, that's what they gave us, and to use that industrial thing, county.
Yeah.
And I pulled it out of the file, that's what I gave you. So, yeah, if you think I made it up, fine.
well, I mean, it's a side document, he's got his.
Yeah, it was part of the agreement, that's what you gave me with the conditional use, that's what we presented it for, Turtle Flag Commission 5 years ago, so, whatever. But I think we said, I wanna get you guys what you need, so I guess we need to try to get a hold of the state to see, like I said, there's two different entities, one is the people who look at what you need to manufacture food, one is for the building and what's needed for that, so that's what we need to find out in the building.
it was approved through DATCP because they look at to see if it can be cleaned, right? Because they're worried about the health aspect of it. They don't care about building permits.
Yeah.
And he has a freezer in there, and I don't know if it's a large industrial freezer. That's why I was like, we need some plans. Even if you don't need state-approved plans, you gotta show us what you're doing in that building. And it can be drawn out. It doesn't have to be done by an architect. Just draw out something you're doing. And Bear Belt comes in here, I got a freezer here. It's 20 by 100, whatever it is. But he hasn't provided any of that.
One of the key things is I think you tabled this so that he can come back and provide the information, but it's my understanding that the conditional use permit decision form that you have in front of you, that's a fairly new document to you, but that is a really, that should be of great help to you in sort of determining, well, where do we go? So what are we looking for? Jesse's identified some ordinance requirements and added some additional ones. What you do is you look at that and you answer the question, well, does he meet all those ordinance requirements? He's got to show that he's met.
Which currently there's not a whole lot.
Yeah. And he can certainly, you've given him the opportunity to provide that, he can certainly do that. Similarly, as far as those other questions in that order and determination, if there are specific items that would be helpful to you to answer those questions, Jesse's provided, some proposed answers to those questions, but in the end, you get to make those decisions. You can adopt the answers that Jesse's provided them, or you can modify them. And I think that when you do hear this matter the next time, I think that's the way to sort of think through it. Think of it as He's making a presentation on why you should answer yes to all these things. Jesse has sort of provided for at least a number of the things, reasons why you shouldn't. You then get to make that decision, but you do have to back it up one way or the other. It's not just if you turn it down, it's also if you approve it, you have to provide some very specific reasons why you did that. And you've got to tie it to what's in your ordinances, or some of the things like requiring building plans and things like that. Your ordinances adopt the state codes. And so if he can show that he meets all those state codes, that takes some of those things away. But if he can't, that is on him to be able to show that.
Well, that's one phase of it, but then you also have the phase of if there was going to be any use of that building, it was agreed upon to raise that, correct, or provide.
Yeah, he has in two different locations where he agreed to either raise the building if he did future expansion. That was his writing that he put on a condition.
Yeah, right.
So, no, the easement is different.
That would have been for 109 when that goes through the park.
That's this one. So again, I
The
agree
first,
signed by himself,
That's what it is.
Jason Hutter. Yep. They either, in the list of three things he can do, he can leave it essentially vacant, he can hook it to water and sewer, or he tear it down. So when he applied for his other conditional use to have the pizza crust place, this was in addition to it. He said, I've already acquired the gray house at 107 East Green Bay Street. This will be torn down and a new facility will be built if or when future expansion would be wanted or needed. So he's agreed twice that he would tear it down for future expansion. He's also agreed.
He said, I just
Yeah, he said that we just reduced this, but this is his.
just sign it, but I just gave him that.
He filled out the paperwork. He printed this paper up. This is also in conjunction with his easement that he wanted. So this is something that he produced and gave to us. And he's saying because he never signed this, it's not valid, but this would be like an exhibit, right?
Yeah.
So you sign application, this is an exhibit saying that this is part of that. And I mean, is there somebody else that has already required 107 East Green Bay Street? He typed this up. He didn't type it.
Exactly.
But he does have another signed agreement where it says C. Or, not C, but residential property will be vacant, remain vacant until the installation of utilities comply with the requirements. The owner must comply with the provisions of the village code by the installation of utilities. Must be residential property. Building must be entirely removed from 107 East Green Bay Street. So that removing 107 East Green Bay Street, which is a house. So he can say he didn't sign it, so he technically signed this one, and he filled out this one. And he's well aware of it, because the first time I approached him, that was the first words out of his mouth that said, I never signed that paper. What paper? I never even brought it up.
So I guess we'll try to work on it.
Mhm.
So can the board find him currently for running?
Right, we'll discuss that at the board. That's not a planning commission decision. We don't, you guys don't have the authority to find. It'll be the board that would have to give direction to the chief of police. I'll just say that I did send out that one email that talked about based on facts. When I approached Mr. Hutter the first time about his building, he asked who was all on the plan commission. So I do believe he has sought out some of you to talk to, which is by itself, whatever, but, as long as you can make your judgment based on fact and not opinion, you don't have to recuse yourself, and I don't think we have anybody in here that would have a conflict to that. I put that out for informational purposes. I wasn't saying anybody was doing anything wrong.
Anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second. Motion by Clerk, second by Paul. Adjourn. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.